Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And since cancel culture is all the rage, should we really be surprised that the infamous Teddy Roosevelt statue in New York City is now going to be taken down due to the cries from the mob? Now, I suppose that if there's any silver lining here, in my mind, it's that it wasn't just torn down during some kind of riotous behavior, but instead is going to be taken down. But this opens up a plethora of questions about our history, about Roosevelt himself, and how we are going to carry into the future if we cannot face the evolution of what America truly is in the regards to not only race, not only religion, but freedom of all people. Okay? As I was discussing with somebody today, you have to realize that the men that wrote the Constitution and Bill of Rights, who were powerful men in this country, were slave owners, okay, in many regards. Guess what? They were born into that. And they were born into a system where people with big jewels and crowns ruled over them from across the sea. And in those systems, everybody was a serf compared to the person with the fancy jewel hat. See what I'm saying here? And somehow those people found a way to fight back successfully, write up a document that gave all men, freedom, and I'll admit, didn't give black people their due. Made them 3/5 of a person, right? Didn't give women their due, right? But at the same time, what? They wrote into that Constitution ways to change it and advance and evolve to the point that all of us realize that yes, it doesn't matter what the color of your skin is or whether you're a man or a woman. You should have the same amount of freedom. You should be able to vote, take part in our electoral system, and receive the same amount of justice. That's the reality. And if we can't see that as an arch and understand it as an arch and give time context, I don't know what to tell you. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about cancel culture. We're going to speak loudly, not softly, and we're going to let Teddy Roosevelt carry the big stick in the back. And we're going to get to trust busting because I think that that's the real reason that he's being dragged through the mud, not colonialism right now, although that's the front for everything. So guys, I want to remind you, I'm fully demonetized on this platform. No super chats, no monetization, no explanation other than I am harmful content. We're pretty behind on this one this month, which is tough because, I've put a lot of money into trying to get out of here. So $5, $10, $15 means the world to me. Big donors need you now more than ever. Make sure that you are thumbing the video up, subscribing, etc., and checking out the documentary films in the playlist section. So let's start talking about trust busting. For those that don't know, if you type in trust buster, Roosevelt, our turn of the century president, is the guy that comes up. And this was a guy, guess what? That was against monopolies and set up legislation to go after the powerful. That doesn't mean he wasn't a powerful guy. That doesn't mean he was perfect. But I got to say this. Shout out to my old AP social studies teacher, Eddie Pangburn. I'm not sure if he's still around, but if he is, God bless his soul. If he's not around, he'd be rolling in his grave because Teddy Roosevelt was his favorite, man. He loved Teddy Roosevelt. And believe me, Manifest Destiny, not a fan. I get it. He wasn't perfect. Even the statue itself has a Native American and an African next to him, right? I'm not even sure if it would be an African American because Teddy Roosevelt, again, was a traveler, was somebody, who was a sportsman, a hunter, rather brash. I would consider him almost the Hemingway of presidencies, okay? But Obviously, politicians are upset with this, and especially those that are Republicans, because this guy was a Republican Party guy. And as you can see, Trump is slamming the decision to remove the Teddy Roosevelt statue. And in my opinion, he's right on that one. He is correct. And I get it. Oh, no. You know, again, they were depicting the times. And he's on the horse and the steed, and he's powerful. I understand that. But I got to ask you, are people aware that he also was the first person to have a black man sit down and have a meal with he and his family in the White House? Booker T. Washington? They don't want to mention that, do they? They don't want to mention that Washington had actually grown extremely close to Teddy Roosevelt in a time when that was maybe frowned upon. Now, other black men had visited the White House, that's for sure, but none had actually sat down and broken bread with the President of the United States. Can you imagine how revolutionary that is? Can you? Almost 120 years ago. And yet, this is the statue we're going to take down. And I ask you, with this cancel culture, how far will it go? For instance, Night at the Museum and its sequel, pretty big Hollywood films. And if you didn't realize it, if you're now going through your mind, oh yeah, that's right. Robin Williams plays Teddy Roosevelt, and he comes to life from that statue, that iconic statue that's been there for so long. Should we cancel the movie? I mean, should we? Is that what's next? We're going to cancel that movie, though, because now Robin Williams playing Teddy Roosevelt as a hero in that is bad. Well, Ben Stiller actually suggested, and by the way, I'm not backing this one, that Teddy Roosevelt statue be replaced by Robin Williams. And, you know, you can have a good laugh at that, but I think that again, is a distraction from our history. Now, I've talked about how I believe that, look, there are some places where these statues have no business. And if you do it the right way, we did that video on Cecil Rhodes, yeah, let's take them down. That's fine. Let's put them in another place. But what better place for that to be than a museum? A literal museum, the Museum of Natural History. Can we not confront our demons? Can we not confront our past? Can we not be honest that we were imperfect and are imperfect today? And that Teddy Roosevelt is one of those imperfect beings? And, you know, I sit here and people think I'm joking when I ask whether or not his face will be blown off Mount Rushmore. But when you have mob justice for George Washington statues, and I'm sorry it's so hot in here. I turned the AC off so it doesn't crank in here. Man, I am really, it's going to be a hot one today, guys. When you have mob justice on something like George Washington, and of course George Washington on Mount Rushmore, what are you going to do? Are you going to blow off Washington, Jefferson, and Teddy Roosevelt? You're going to keep Lincoln because the mythos is that he's the one that freed the slaves, even though he freed no slaves? You know? And I'm not bashing Lincoln by any means. It's just a fact. Okay? It's just really what happened. But again, all these things that are being built around men that are imperfect, a nation that's imperfect, we have to confront that. Sure. But erasing history, replacing history with a sanitized version of it, or just going to the negatives, well, that's not for me either, especially when you have a guy that was going after monopolies. Because you can bet that the predator class, the aristocracy, the oligarchy today doesn't want you to remember that there were people that got to high levels of power that took them on. And Teddy Roosevelt, like him or not, was one of those people. Guys, thumbs the video up, subscribe, share the content. I want to remind everybody that we're doing it several times a day over on YouTube. Make sure to thumb it up. Make sure you're still subscribed. We're trying to grow up to that 55,000 mark. All my documentary films, Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture, they're free right here, right now. And you can also check me over at Rockfin. We had an exclusive up there for premium members. Kingpin told the truth. Bill Murray played the perfect heel. And tomorrow for free, so you can just sign up for free, we stream live at noon with an exclusive on Rockfin as well. So please go check out that platform. I'm on Minds. But the way you can really support me is $5, $10, $15. Big donations. We really appreciate them. I know I was supposed to do an Ask Me Anything yesterday. I didn't. We're definitely going to do one today. Although, man, it is hot in here. I'm wondering how long I'll be able to do that. Sorry for all the neck sweat, folks. Oh, maybe I'll have to do it with the AC on. So, big donors, need you now more than ever. Absolutely love you guys. I will see you all on the flip side.